The holidays are right around the corner, but are you stressing out about how to celebrate during these tough economic times? Well, stress no more. We have great advice for creating happy holidays during a recession right now on It's Your Call. Well, the poinsettias are in bloom, the holiday decorations are out, and the Christmas music is playing, so that can only mean one thing. That means that the holidays are upon us. Now, for many of us, that might bring a great big smile, but for a lot of folks this year, the season is anything but merry. Hello, everyone. It's good to have you with us. I'm Lynn Doyle. As you know, the recession and the tough economic times have been playing Scrooge with holiday celebrations this year, but not to worry. In the It's Your Call tradition, we are continuing to bring you great ideas to make the season the best it can possibly be. Coming up, we're going to have some shopping tips for buying during a recession, and we'll have some definite do's and don'ts when it comes to choosing gifts. We'll tell you whether it's ever okay to re-gift and what the etiquette is regarding buying for the office when money is tight. And we're going to give you an example of how to support local businesses rather than go elsewhere when we unveil the latest characters from the Buyer's Choice collection. Why not help start a collection, add to an existing one, or give a unique gift, all while keeping your shopping dollars local? All that and more coming up in the next half hour. So let's meet these holiday experts who are going to make our lives a bit easier this year. Julia Brufke-Wanger is a personal finance consultant and entrepreneur, and Lynn Doyle is a speaker and author on the topic of business and professional etiquette. She founded her consulting and training company, The Professional Edge, in 1995. Great to have both of you ladies here. Happy holidays. Let's talk about this recession. I mean, do we definitely have to look at the holidays as a downer just because the economy is not up?
Absolutely not. I think that the holidays are a time to dig into the important things in life, and money isn't everything. It's about relationships, it's about the people you love, and it's a really important time to take stock of that and make that the priority.
And the priority this year is to really put a handle on what's important to people individually.
That's right. In the etiquette of business, the important thing is this holiday season, stay positive, because it's not about what has been downsized, what has been minimized. It's about the tradition of the holiday, which in a business culture means everybody's together, everybody is celebratory, or you're getting an opportunity to network and talk to people that you don't ordinarily meet on a day-to-day basis.
Let's start with a professional perspective. People are always concerned about giving out the right impression during the holidays. If you've lost your job, if you've been downsized, or if your office has experienced changes in the last year, how do you move forward at the holiday time?
The way to do this, first of all, again, think about the etiquette of business dictates that you want others to feel comfortable. So that is the spirit that I'm giving advice in this in that type of vein. But the thing to do, there's alternatives and there are options. As an employer, you want to give options to your employees. As an employee, you want to explore options with others. One of the things that some of my clients are telling me to do, that they've brought employees into the decision making if they're going to be minimized or if their company has been influenced by the economic climate, much the same as the employees have been involved in decisions all year long because of the economic climate. So if they're going to reinvent the holiday party or reinvent gift giving, they're asking employees, what suggestions do you have? Maybe it is charity gift cards, maybe it is coming together and maybe re-gifting. Maybe you have a re-gifting party and you bring re-gifts and you exchange them, or a potluck dinner or lunch at the company location.
It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to spend big bucks to extend the good wishes of the holiday.
Oh, I totally agree. I have to chuckle though when you talk about the regifting, because I think it's great if you get it out front that this is a regifting party.
To preface that,
but
right,
I truly believe that if you plan on regifting to do it on the side, then you really need to think that through carefully. I'm not a big fan of it personally. I have actually received regifted gifts and caught on to it. I have someone in the family family who is a teacher, and periodically I'd get gifts with apples on. It was kind of a little giveaway there. So, but I think it's a great thing in the office. You can have a lot of fun with that. I mean, people do the white elephant party and that kind of thing too.
You want to preface it, absolutely.
Right.
Make no mistake. I'm not saying that this is the etiquette of the corporate culture. This year it's okay to regift. No, you want to put that as one of the criteria to what you are doing in the office this year. But I mentioned charity gift cards as well. It's a great concept.
Right.
I'm sure you know about that.
And charities are hurting right now too.
They are, absolutely.
So they really appreciate that right now.
They do.
I always think of the Seinfeld episode about the regifting when the label maker is passed around among the various characters on the show, and you always know if you have been regifted. So your suggestion to put it out there and say, hey, everyone's gotten a gift that perhaps is not suitable for them. Why not bring it to the office, throw it into a pile, and everyone just kind of, take potluck at it?
Right. It serves a couple purposes. It gets something out of your closet that's been in your closet, and then you have something that maybe you can use for the coming year.
See, I think Julia's idea, too, about the charities could not be more timely, because as everyone knows, the tough economic times are not only affecting individuals, but they're affecting these nonprofits as well, because when people have to make a choice between buying groceries or making a donation to their favorite cause, no matter how worthy it is, a lot of times the charities suffer.
They have been suffering greatly, I know that. So in the spirit of the season, that's a great idea. It is.
Not only that, Lynn, it's also how you communicate what you're going to be doing differently. Email is not always a one-size-fits-all media for all messages. So if you're a company director or manager, you may want to think, how am I going to communicate to my employees that we're doing something different? And you want to think about staying positive. Don't offer an apology. Well, this year we're not going to have the tenderloin skewers. We're going to have cocktail franks, for example. So you want to communicate, neutralize, and stay positive. This year we're reinventing our holiday tradition. We're doing something different to stay in sync with our company's challenges. But that's the one thing also that, from an etiquette perspective, how are you going to communicate that to make everybody feel comfortable? What's the best way? Email isn't always the best way.
Okay, are you suggesting that you talk face-to-face then?
Yeah, talk face-to-face. Maybe there's a departmental meeting where you can communicate that. Or you may want to communicate that in a phone conversation where it's two-way, not a voicemail. You want to make sure people understand if you're suggesting that let's get together and decide on something that we can do. Rather than send out an email to everyone, we're downsizing our holiday party.
So you're saying bring people involve the employees in that decision and make it interactive instead of dictated.
Well, that's an option,
and,
yes.
I think, too, at this point, I deal with a lot of small business owners in my practice, and we've had some really good years. A lot of the business owners have had, they've started to create an expectation of their employees, just like parents and families have created an expectation coming out of a couple of really good years in the past. And how do you scale back on that without disappointing people?
Well,
that's where it gets so difficult.
I'm so glad you mentioned that, because there are people who have had a good year, and you do feel somewhat guilty if you're planning a big holiday party or a big luncheon for your employees when others have scaled back. So where do you find the balance, or how do you find the balance to make sure that you can reward your employees for a year that deserves rewarding, but at the same time not give that impression that you're lording it over people who haven't done so well?
Right, but I think that we need to step back after this past experience of what we've had in the economy over the last year and learn some lessons from it. And it's a good time to take stock and regroup. And some of the behaviors that we had in the past have gotten us into trouble. So even if your company is doing really well, I'm not saying that it's not a good idea to celebrate and reward, but maybe don't take it so over the top. I mean, get your legs a little firmly planted on the ground and make sure that you can sustain so that you don't find yourself in trouble.
The important thing is saying thank you to the people who have worked so hard for you, and also thank you to the clients that have been bringing you business in this tough economic times. Gratitude seems to be the number one accessory that we should be wearing here in business. Now, how about you? Are you finding that the holidays are stressing you out? If so, how are you dealing with it? And how do you plan to make these holidays just as enjoyable, considering that we do have a tough economic climate going on? And if you do have tips that you're willing to share about saving this holiday season, I want to know what they are. Here's what you do. You can